Tuesday morning forum. We've had a lot of exciting moments, but this is really, really big, and we just appreciate you so much. We have the national president of the NAACP here with us, Mr. Derrick Johnson. This is a very long and important organization. It's been here for many, many years, and it's affected all of us in our lives. And we just appreciate that he's carrying the torch for this organization. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Mr. Lenny Springs to introduce Mr. Johnson and also everyone on the dais here. Okay, thank you. Oh, and by the way, I'm Derrick Johnson. I'm facilitating today, along with Weston.
Good morning. Good morning. If I can figure out how to turn this off.
I'm sorry, I should say NAACP. Okay, that's the correct pronunciation. But see, when I was, we called it N.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to be here with the Tuesday Morning Breakfast Club and to honor the founder, Sarah Stevenson, who was a stalwart in this community. When I first moved to Charlotte some 30-something years ago, she was one of the first persons I met and embraced me into the Charlotte community. So it's good to be here. Let me introduce my colleagues up here. Gigi Dixon, Georgette Gigi Dixon, who is the co-chair of the NAACP convention along with me this coming in July. This lady needs no introduction. Everybody know who the Reverend Mack is, who is the president of the Charlotte branch of NAACP. So we're here this morning just to talk briefly about the national convention that's coming to Charlotte, July 8th through the 12th. I'm going to let my co-chair, Gigi, introduce our guest speaker because she is on the national board for NAACP. I'm a former member of the national board many, many years ago. But Gigi now sits on the board, and I think it would be appropriate for her to introduce the president and CEO of the biggest, the baddest, the boldest, most feared, most revered civil rights organization in the world. NAACP, there's no bigger and better brand than the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Gigi?
Thank you, Lenny, and I too am honored to be here. I remember Sarah Stevenson, and this is a fantastic tribute to her life and the work that she's done for our community. It's always good to see Mary. It's always good to see many faces that I see in the room today. Again, I am Gigi Dixon. I've lived in Charlotte for about 32 years, and it's been pretty amazing to watch our city grow and develop. And it's really amazing to know that we have the NAACP National Convention coming to Charlotte again after 35 years. And to have the CEO who is leading this association and taking it forward into the future in ways that I hope and pray that all of you understand, that you become more and more knowledgeable about and come and be a part of it, not only at the convention, but every day. So before I introduce Derrick, I'm gonna ask, how many of you are members of the NAACP? Excellent. And if anyone isn't and would like to be, see me after this, and we'll make sure you get your membership. But I am a proud life member of the NAACP. My mother, my dad, my sister, my brother, our family were members of the NAACP. We got our membership cards, me, my sister, and my brother, from Lenny Springs when I was 10 years old in Greenville, South Carolina. And so what I would say is legacy is important, reaching out to our young people is important, and Derrick Johnson, as CEO, has got a knack for that. The NAACP is over 10,000 strong. We have over 2,000 chapters across the United States, or branch units across the United States. If you're familiar, you know that when anything happens, people call the NAACP, especially in our community. Derrick, I've had the pleasure of watching him grow through the NAACP as I've been engaged since Lenny brought me along with First Union National Bank about 27, 28 years ago. And I've seen Derrick come up through the ranks of the NAACP from leadership out in the community to leadership on the board to leadership as our CEO. Derrick is highly educated. He's an attorney, which makes it really valuable for us at the NAACP, because as an attorney, as you know, the way that we can make things happen is oftentimes through policy and through law. And so with that, it's really a pleasure to introduce to you Derrick Johnson. I'll let him tell you a little bit about why he's here today and why you're going to see us in this community, why you're going to hear from us as the convention is coming, but more importantly, how you can engage with us along the way. Derrick?
Thank you, Gigi, and I want to acknowledge our branch president. You want to say a few words before we get started?
That's right. Thank you.
I'm never short on words, as you know. Anyone in ministry knows that we are long-winded. Just really quickly to our Charlotte family, we are excited to have the convention here in the Charlotte area. But more importantly, understanding what the theme is, the urgency of now. We are truly in a critical situation, not only in this country, but specifically right here in the state of North Carolina. And the leaders here in Charlotte can be the front line in the struggle to create real change, sustainable change. We are working under a phenomenal leader, a man who not only has the ability to litigate, but who was an organizer in Mississippi for years. As an organizer over 20 years ago, he understands both sides of the spectrum, what it's going to take for us to win, to create a real strategy. I want you to stand with our leader, Derrick Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
One second.
Oh,
I'm sorry. We do have a streaming audience.
Hello, streaming audience.
Yeah, we got a lot of people watching.
Okay.
So hold your mic up.
Oh, hold it up.
So that they can, you know.
Got it.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to come to speak to you today. I think you're the timekeeper, so you got to keep me on time. I see the card over there.
No, you go right.
Of course, Derrick Johnson, I'm president and CEO. I reside in Jackson, Mississippi. Born and raised in Detroit, I can recall moving to Jackson to go to undergrad, Tougaloo College, HBCU, and ultimately coming to a regional NAACP meeting. I was hooked. I was hooked because you had in our region 7 states, which included North Carolina, South Carolina, down to Florida, all the way across to Mississippi. And to see the gathering of people of every generation, every age group, all backgrounds, talking about important things based on their lived experience. Now that's in 1990. And every year since, I think with the exception of 1 year when I was in law school, I've attended an NAACP regional, national, or state function every year since. That's over 30 plus years of just being engaged, and half the time I sat in rooms similar to this, just listening. Listening to understand what are some of the important things that people are concerned about. And that was part of the thrust around me staying involved because I love people and I love equity. Equity in terms of ensuring that we are living in a healthy society, which I measure by 3 things. Are we caring for our elderly? Are we preparing our young people for a prosperous and productive future? And do we protect the rights of those who are disadvantaged, however we define one's disadvantage? For me, that is the mark of a healthy society. And NAACP represented a vehicle for my voice to try to create that healthy society. And so in 2019, when President Mack and the greater Charlotte community came to the convention to petition to have came to the association to petition to have the convention come here, we were excited. Because one of those regional meetings I came to was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I came back again when the Democratic Convention was here. I came back again when we had my fraternity's national convention here, Omega Psi Phi. And looking at that track, I see the community evolving and developing at every step. When I first came, people didn't hang out downtown like they do now. I'm like, man, this is nice. And that's called leadership in a community that's coming together, which is not the same for most southern cities, and in some cases not the same across the country. And so as I step back, I am glad we are coming to this city for the convention this year, a year that's really important. Now, I'm not assuming anybody's political affiliation. The NAACP, we are fiercely nonpartisan. We don't tell people who to vote for, what political party to be a part of, but we are political as any organization can be. What's the difference? We don't need partisan, but we are political because we understand that the nature and role of government is to ensure the citizens are protected and there's equal protection under the law. That's our job. And that's been our job for 116 years. And so where it exists, we are there to ensure that those who are disadvantaged are protected. Now, one's disadvantage could be, some people are shorter than others and they put the doorknob too high, they can't reach it. Well, that's not fair, because we want everybody to be able to reach the doorknob to turn it, right? One's disadvantage may be any number of things. In fact, in Ashton, North Carolina, is Ashton, right? Not Asheville, Asheville, right? Half of our members are non-black. Half of our members are non-black. In Salt Lake City, Utah, it looks like the United Nations. That we have a branch in Alabama that's majority Native Americans. Because our mission is not rooted in one community, in one culture. Our mission is rooted in the sole fact of protecting our democracy and making sure it works for everybody. Now we're in a different climate. And that climate in many ways is saying, you know what, it's okay to take Medicaid benefits, although it's paying for parents and grandparents in nursing homes. We're in a political environment to say it's okay to redistribute the wealth to the most wealthiest individuals and take veterans' benefits from individuals who served our country. That it's okay to redefine the role of government in a way in which it will be unrecognizable to many of us. And it's the job of the NAACP to say, no, it's not okay. Because we have far too many people across this country who have earned the right to be seen, to be heard, to be respected, and they have paid into a system that they were looking for a return on their investment. Now, has anyone here never received a paycheck? Has everyone here received a paycheck? There's a fellow on that paycheck called FICA. And FICA be taking our money every time we get the paycheck, right?
Yes.
And we've all paid into a system, and in return, our public dollars should be provided for public good. And so when we come here this summer for the convention, that's what we're talking about. And it's not closed to anybody, it's open to everyone. It's not excluding anyone. It is something that we can all line up behind, because our job is to make democracy work for all. Now, the beautiful thing about the convention in Charlotte, we have this thing called the Hub. The Hub is an invitation to the community to participate. We have people talking about topics on stage. We have vendors, all kinds of stuff, right, Takia? Right? And it's a fun experience for our young people to come in. And so I'm glad to be here to invite you to come and join us to be a part of the Hub. Be a part of the convention. You can register as a guest, or you just walk through the Hub and experience all the activities. Charlotte is one of those communities where it's inviting. Therefore, we want to have a convention that is also inviting. We hope that the organizations you represent, the communities that you're part of, and the families that love you, you all come down and join us. Now, the convention, we're here July 12th through the 16th. So Takia Jefferson runs everything. I don't know why she ain't up here. So if you see me look over there, because she knows all the information. But we invite you to come and join us. Why? Because it's important in this moment for us to celebrate us. And us celebrating us, that's about citizens celebrating our ability to collectively come together to ensure democracy work for all. Final point. When I first started, Lenny Springs was at this bank called Wachovia. No, it was another bank before that. First Union. It became Wachovia, then it became Wells Fargo. And then out of nowhere come this young lady by the name of Gigi Dixon, who was at Wachovia. You weren't at First Union too, were you?
I was, yeah.
First, right?
He recruited me.
And now, when Gigi said that Lenny sold her membership, he's only 5 years older than her because he stayed young, right? So and for me, it's an amazing because we are an organization that is absolutely multi-generational. We will have over probably about 1,000+ young people coming here to participate in an academic Olympic we call AXO, where young people compete in 32 categories in STEM, the sciences, performing arts, and they get medals for that. We'll have some of our youth advocates coming in who are part of our youth councils. Those are our young people under 18 who participate in a youth council. We will have our college chapter students here. We are the largest container or vehicle of youth activist voices across the country. We're in 47 states. So we'll have members here from Hawaii and Alaska, from Connecticut down to Florida, and every state in between, except 3 states, North Dakota, Montana, and I can't remember the other state. We got them in South Dakota, it's a 3rd state, right? So if you have any cousins in North Dakota, Montana, Idaho.
That's all right.
Idaho, that's it, right?
Oh, Wyoming.
And we got them in Wyoming. Oh, yeah, we got them in Wyoming. There are oil wells in Wyoming, so black folks have moved up there and worked in the oil fields. Same thing with North Dakota. We in Alaska because of the military bases. We in Hawaii because of military bases. So we are all across the country, and we are an organization that we fight against discrimination, and we're also inclusive of all communities. I'm going to stop there and answer any questions that you may have, and we're just excited to be coming here this summer, and I hope you can join us. Is it okay to take questions?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
What I'll do, they will raise their hands and I will call on them in the order. I know Ken has the first one, but I believe Winston wants to say something first.
Well, yes, just in this room, I would be remiss if I did not, of course, as I always advocate for my beautiful historic west side of Charlotte, as there is alignment in the NAACP's history, being that Thurgood Marshall hired Attorney Thomas Weish as the first attorney in the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And they would strategize out of that very small and unassuming house things that would go on to change the world. Not to mention, the 3rd director of council was our own Julius Chambers. So, again, this isn't just a conference coming to town. No. This is a conference coming home. This is NAACP, and there are many ties to our amazing Beta Sport corridor. So now, I just have to say that. Fred Alexander as well, yes. So again, many ties to how we have beautifully immersed NAACP, not only here, but how those things have gone on to affect the climate nationally.
Yes, and we can't say enough about Reverend Kareem Mack. She is the driving force here in Charlotte. Let's just give her a hand. Thank you so much. Okay, our first question is Ken, and then you.
I was a self-described dinosaur. So from that perspective, I'm going to talk a little bit about a historic perspective. And Lenny is familiar with some of this. In 1996, 39 years ago, I owned a company called All Stars Communications, a mobile satellite uplink transmission company. We covered and transmitted for NBC, the National Convention, during that period here. And I recall how President Bush snubbed you guys and would not come to speak because he had a golf game, and Bill Clinton did. The feature story on Youth Council. My relationship is my satellite uplink truck company transmitted the entire convention NAACP during the week that they were here in 1996. Among them was a story that I produced featured on the youth council member. He was a kid from college, and he was a junior at that time. He went on to become Coca-Cola Sprite's brand manager nationally out of Atlanta. I don't recall his name, you might. Also in 1996 in Jackson, Mississippi, my satellite truck was there for the filming of the movie Ghost of Mississippi, where my truck was prominently featured in that movie for 5 seconds. And during that week, I met a young Tougaloo alumni who was then, her name was Sherry, and she was then the special assistant to the then mayor. And finally, I'm a current contractor with the funeral home family that included a former chair of the National NAACP board and whose son was instrumental in creating the NAACP Youth Council and recently passed, Kelly Alexander Jr. Now, to my question. In 2026, is there a concerted effort for the midterm elections coming up wherein the NAACP is trying to mobilize those youngsters 30 and under who are either unregistered or registered but don't vote? Because it seems that that may be the only immediate opportunity we have to reverse a lot of the trauma that this country faces now.
Yes, the short answer is yes. There is an effort that's taking place now. I'll go back to come forward. Last year's election cycle, we spent around $22 million on getting the vote out. So we have a whole civic engagement team, and that's all they do. We're looking at the landscape now. For 2025, it's about hearing people, talking to people around the proposals that are on the table. And so we are both prepared to go around the country and encouraging members of Congress to do field hearings. So people can talk about the impact of some of the decisions. When you close whole agencies, or you strip them of their ability to get things out the door, or if you close Social Security offices, that will have impact on people. And so we're pushing members of Congress to start doing field hearings so they can hear directly, what does it mean to redefine the role of government? Race is a distraction. They use race here so everyone get all worked up. And over here is where they're actually doing the stuff. But over here, it's not just black people or women or white people, it's everybody. And so what happens when that takes place, we get worked up on the race question and miss what they're really doing. They are taking your Social Security. They are eliminating veterans benefits. They are removing the opportunities for families to have a comfort of life that we've all paid into through our FICA contribution out of the taxes. And so the short answer is yes. I can only imagine if our program last year, presidential election, was around $21 million, because of the significance of next year, it will probably be that plus in target areas to turn out to vote. And we focus on what's called infrequent voters. Those are individuals who are registered to vote. They may have voted once or twice in the last 10 years, and they need an extra push to go out. And so that will be the focus of our program.
Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone.
So
you got to turn around.
Oh.
Flat to work.
There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Johnette Coppett. Good morning. Happy to be here. It's funny, I was randomly coming because I haven't been in a while, and I came on the right morning, right? Just to piggyback on his question in engagement with the younger generation, but specifically in Charlotte. So to be honest, I had no clue you guys were coming to a convention here in Charlotte. No, that part. But if I don't know, I'm sure there are several others who do not know, right? How are you guys not only getting the information out, but specifically for the younger generation? Because Charlotte has a movement and a wave of younger generation doing big things. Looking at Winston, he don't like to be called out, but he's one of them, right? But there are mobilizers, movers, and shakers and influentials. that can really help get message out. So how are you guys engaging, and what is your social media if you have one to follow?
So we're on all platforms. It's at NAACP on all platforms, right? We rely on the local leadership to engage the community to turn out. So I will, Corinne is the best position, Gigi and Lenny, but I think that's why we're here this morning, to start the process.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
First of all, every Tuesday is the right morning to be here.
Thank you. Instagram and Facebook.
Good morning. Sorry. My name is April Benson. Thank you for your newsletter. I always get that now. I put, I get to see you in the flesh. They continue.
I hope I didn't disappoint.
Oh, no. I go through it. I go through it. So thank you. You always kept, I don't know about everybody else, but I do get your newsletter from the NAACP. So, but my question is for the convention, and there's so many things that has going on right now, especially, we have juveniles in the White House. So will the convention will be a support of morale and your state leadership to reboost and to give everyone some hope of what's going on, because for years, I'm so used to saying NAACP, but
And you can still say
okay,
it.
thank you.
I can't, I have teachers who say there's no double A in the alphabet, so I said, okay.
Right, thank you. But but because of what's going on right now, would the convention be a tool and concept to get everyone? We know you're nonpartisan. How is that going to continue to build everyone? Because wherever Corinne go, we're pretty much always backing her up. I used to be a member, but you might convince me to do that.
We can fix it today, right now.
That's right. But yeah, how is that going to affect us? Because we got to stand strong, because with Social Security and everything that's basically getting rid, even in Washington.
Okay.
How we're gonna be able to move forward and do better with that?
Believe it or not, this is only day 100 of this administration. It feels like it's year 100, right? It feels like a long time. I can assure you, once we get to the convention, many of the things that are concerning people will be a part of the topics that we're going to be discussing with both experts and strategists on the next steps. But I told someone when the inauguration took place, they were going to implement what's called the shock doctrine. They're going to create so much confusion and shock and awe that get people all emotionally wound up, and the goal is to exhaust you so that they can begin to implement their true plan, and that is to redesign the budget in a way in which is not recognizable. And so that was the first 100 days. Now they're in the process of doing the budget outline to get it adopted in September. By the time we get to January, we have absolutely clarity what they're doing. So you think about it, they floated out there last month, they want to cut $800 billion out of Medicaid, right? So to the average layman, you think, okay, Medicaid is a poverty program for those other people. Upwards of 80% of all nursing home care is paid by Medicaid benefits. So that means individuals, parents, and grandparents are either going to be put out of those facilities if they can't make payments, or they're going to be a lot of financial strain on families that otherwise would not have that strain but for the program. That when you say we're going to abolish the Department of Education, what that really means is we're going to take away Title I funds, and a substantial number of the teacher and education workforce are going to lose their jobs. When you say we're going to issue a tariff on Canada, that means the price of lumber goes up, therefore housing costs goes up. If you're gonna increase the tariff on Mexico, that means the cost of produce and vegetables go up, or there's a scarcity of those produce and vegetables. Then we're gonna have a trade war with China, that means the cost of our electronics go up. That means inflation goes up. That if it's a global impact, that means the 30-year T-bill is no longer at market rate. It goes down because people lose trust in the T-bill, therefore interest rates go up. When we get to July, those are the conversations we gotta have in very plain English. Because to say, oh, we're gonna do tariffs, it may sound good to some ears, but what are the repercussions of that? It's a ripple effect. And that's what we're confronted with as a nation, and it goes beyond partisanship, it goes beyond individual communities. It's about expectations of citizens. And this redefinition of government will frustrate much of the citizens across this country's expectations, because we've grown accustomed to certain things. That means there are no federal funds in some cases to allocate to counties or states to pave roads or repair bridges. All of those things are on the table now if you redefine the budget, which would be due by September. The distraction here was to keep us busy, DEI, and quite frankly, most of us, if I ask you, what does DEI mean? We don't know what it means because there's no operational definition of it. From organization to organization, federal agency to agency, it has been so weaponized that we chase that ambulance down the road and we catch them like, oh, well, what is it? It means anything to anybody who wanted to find it, like, oh, it means it's the stuff that I don't like, therefore it's DEI. So we can't chase that ambulance when central to all of this is the budget. Who gets taxed, who's not taxed, and what they spend the tax dollar on. That's the real fight that we have to be focused on.
Derrick, let me, you just struck a chord with me, reboost of hope. NAACP has never given up hope and will never give up hope. We as a community should never give up hope. But to get back to your comment, reboost of hope, I will assure you that the subject matters that will be addressed, the speakers that will be coming in, nationally known speakers, political speakers, entrepreneurs, civil rights leaders, yes, it will be a reboot of hope. You just heard from our CEO. Just one voice nationally, but all national civil rights leaders from around the country will be here. The focus will be on Charlotte, North Carolina. We, as an organization, NAACP, cannot come to Charlotte and not leave a reboot of hope. The question is, how do we follow up? How do we follow up? Make that hope become a reality. Because the convention is just 1 week. I live here, Gigi live here, Reverend Mack lives here. And just like other NAACP branch presidents, they're going back to their community to ensure that that hope stays alive and will continue to be alive. So you brought a very good point up. Let's not never lose hope.
I'm Leda Fullwood. I'm a member of a Black Philanthropic Collective here in Charlotte. In fact, Charlotte's Black Philanthropic Collective, INGA. And I have a question. I heard you, Mr. Johnson, at the Harambe Conference in Atlanta for the Association of Black Foundation Executives recently, and was inspired by your remarks there. And wanted to let you know and invite opportunities for meaningful cross-engagement when we opened the Soul of Philanthropy exhibition here in Charlotte. It's a Charlotte-rooted exhibition lifting up stories of Black giving in all its forms. And it opens, our preview opening is on July 12th, and it will officially open to the public on the 15th and run through October. It's an opportunity to be inspired, but also for ongoing community engagement as we organize as advocates and activists, and also organize our money to lead and invest in the change we want to see. So my question is, how might we partner, or how might I follow up for exploring meaningful engagement?
So we actually had a conversation last week with your organization. I don't know if it was you, my colleague Larry Brown happened to be on the call with the leader of the exhibit. So we've actually been in communication, and we've reached out to your organization to join our activity. So the work has already started.
All right, I look forward to talking further. Thank you.
I told you she knew everything.
Derrick, I would also say, later, we're working with Charles Thomas as well. So
All right, great.
you and he have done a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate what Valeda just said. It sounds like just great opportunity. I'm glad that, I have the dates. There are a couple of people I'm telling them didn't even know you were coming. It is May. So my question is, before we leave here, I have to leave, but I have a sister-in-law sitting next to me who takes great notes. I need to know, how do I join with a check, Gigi? But I also need to make sure everyone here knows how we can get involved and how we can get engaged today, because time is of the essence.
Thank you. We can provide, we have a link with the information, and we can give it back to Kia. She knows everything.
So number one, please be active in your local community. So President Reverend Mack is your connection to the organization. And I know that she's out there on the front lines all the time. Yes, she's awesome. So she is your ambassador, she is your advocate, she's your patron, she does it all. If you want to be more connected to the convention, our website is the organization's website is www.naacp.org. Specifically for the convention is /convention. So www.naacp.org/convention. CONVENTION.
You gotta write that down.
President Johnson, I just want to respond a little bit to what April said, and with Carlina Irie, who's phenomenal, who's leading the room right now. One of the really long-term leaders of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area. Just really quickly, one of the reasons why the Charlotte-Mecklenburg branch petitioned to get the convention here was because we understood that there were some real issues happening at the state level that would harm not only us, but our children and our children's children for decades to come. And I believe with all my heart that this organization has been the foundation of every real movement, change, every real sustainable change, and understood very clearly that we had to come together as people, not just Black people, but as people, to determine what we were willing to do to ensure that we had a greater life for all people, a greater quality of life for all people, specifically for the state of North Carolina. Whether we're talking about the Riggs and Griffin fight right now, whether we're talking about democracy or suppression of our right to vote, whether we're talking about the Leandro Act and the violation of the Leandro Act, the educational system and the inequity in the educational system, whether we're talking about housing and lack thereof, whether we're talking about healthcare, understanding that over 500,000 people in the state of North Carolina did not have healthcare until a year and a half ago, and now they're trying to take it back. And how that affects at least 55,000 jobs immediately. These are things we're thinking about here in the state of North Carolina. But this convention will bring us full circle because the conversation is much bigger than North Carolina. There are a lot of things that we're doing on the ground right now, but we'll have experts sitting in the room, strategic plans to determine how we can move forward. For us in North Carolina, specifically in Mecklenburg, we have to have a rapid response team. People who can get on the ground and get things done quickly. April, you and I have been on the ground during the election cycle for the last 6-7 years together. We know what this looks like. We have to make sure that we use our gifts, our God-given gifts, right now to ensure that we are protecting not only ourselves and our families, but our entire communities. And begin to stop working in silos, but work collaboratively to make things happen. That's what the NAACP teaches us. That is how we have to move, not only during the convention, but thereafter.
Thank you so much, and Reverend Mack indeed is a phenomenal person. My question is, can you distinguish between, I think you said something meetings as opposed to town hall? What's the difference? Hearings, you're talking about the hearings?
Oh, so we are urging members of Congress to go to different locations and do what's called field hearings. So they can hear from people around the impact of decisions being made by this current administration. So go to the area and talk about veterans benefits and whether or not veterans are experiencing disruptions in receiving their benefits. Go to another community and talk about the importance of Medicaid and how it would impact their families in that community. So those are field hearings, and oftentimes you get testimony, you build a record. So you can show that there is broad support for, you name the issue.
As opposed to town hall?
Opposed to town halls, something similar to this. You get up, you talk, make take questions, yeah. But some of the field hearings we found most effective for something like this, because you're building a record to show Congress there is momentum across communities for a particular issue, and this is how it's impacted individuals, either positively or negatively.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for being here. My name is Gary Marion. I'm a disabled Marine Corps veteran. If it wasn't for the discipline that I obtained during boot camp, I'd probably be locked up or dead. I moved to Charlotte 8 years ago. I used my leadership skills to transform my whole community. Racial bias is a major problem. Black males in Charlotte are victims of it. I'm a victim. I shared some information with Reverend Mack some time ago. It's been like 5 years. I have a nuisance neighbor who's been charged with causing me severe mental anguish. My blood pressure medication went from 0.5 to 50 milligrams 3 times a day, and he's still there. As of today, I will never deal with a white police officer again. 20 911 calls, nothing done. 2 police misconducts. The community service officer, he was a major problem. Chief Kurt Putney talked about racial bias, did a story on WBTV in 2015. I did my research. It's still a problem. I told the mayor, I told Chief Jennings, I told the mayor what she should do because nobody's done anything. Right now I'm contemplating on leaving the country. I've done my whole house over, 1 second, in my 8 years here. I've suffered a great deal. 1 second, please. I would like to get some help. If you can please help me. Quality of life has not been good for me. I really need some help. I can't do it by myself. The officer, I'll tell you his name is private. He's been reassigned. He's not a community service officer no more. I've told Chief Jennings, if I call 911 again, please do not send me a white officer. Thank you.
Okay, Jay Hill.
Yeah, we're doing NAACP work.
I got both of you.
All right.
Both of you had your hands up, so I didn't know. Okay, right here. Right here.
Good morning, I am Johnson, Executive Director of Mental Health America. My question is, I was looking at your website, I'm loving the fact that you're supporting healthcare and equity for all. We have a crisis of mental health in our youth in the state, but also people of color, right? We're under attack. Is the NAACP planning to lean in to addressing mental health specifically?
Yes, I mean, we have seen across the board a sharp increase in mental health issues in the aftermath of COVID, especially with young people. We've seen an increase in suicide among Black males, which was never an issue like it is today. Our health director is a medical doctor, and so we're talking through one of the conversations, pull together health experts to address that topic. But it is a real urgent and concern of ours around mental health, health in general, but mental health. And what happens in this current political environment, you know, you have the budget I'm talking about, that get cuts, then affordable care get cut. And then, you know, all the basic health needs get cut, and then mental health get cut. And so it's a domino. And that's why the urgency of now is around the budget conversation that's going to conclude in September to make sure the important services that are intact are not taken away, because we're only going to see an acceleration in mental health crisis that happens, particularly if people start losing jobs or start losing benefits.
I will also add that our health director starting next month, so when
Our health director starting next month, one of her highlights and spotlights for the month of May is specifically around mental health. So please stay in tune with our website to get more details. If you're not a member, I encourage you and anyone in this room to become a member today.
May Mental Health Month.
Robert?
Good morning and thank you for coming in. My name is Robert Collins. I want to say this. Growing up, my grandfather was from Chicago, very well known in civil rights. My grandmother and Jesse Jackson are like best friends until her passing. But what I've come to see, and I'm 47 years old, is that most people at my age, our grandparents were part of the NAACP, but now the youth you don't see as a part of the NAACP. We don't talk about it. What's being done to get the ages 35 to 20 involved, interested? You were speaking about hope earlier, but beyond just hope, but actually the doing part. What's being done? What can we do in that realm?
So it starts local, right? And President Mack would love your engagement to help craft a strategy for young people in this community. Because every community is different. Some communities, NAACP is the vehicle of choice for young people. Another community may not be. But it all starts with individuals supporting and getting engaged to try to get our young people. The median age of the Black community is 32 years old. We have repositioned all of our social media platforms to be more appealing to that age group. We've taken our LA office, created a studio so we can create social media content to appeal to that age group, because that is the age group of the future. Can you imagine that half of our population is under the age of 32? And so that's urgent, but it really starts local. And it starts with like you, who you see it, engaging young people. NAACP is a perfect vehicle for young people to have a voice, but if they decide to have a voice under another vehicle, we're not opposed to that either, because we want young people to be engaged. But we need people like you to support, be a part of building a strategy for the community that you're a part of, because you see the young people, you know, day in and day out. It's different in another community, maybe somebody's in another community, but it starts with you.
Good morning, everyone. I have a question for the panelists, and I'm keeping my time here. How many of you are familiar with Dr. Claude Anderson? Anyone else heard Dr. Claude Anderson?
He got it.
Okay, I too am a military veteran experiencing PTSD. But my question is what is NAACP doing toward Black economic empowerment? Because that's what Dr. Claude Anderson has written a book on called Powernomics, the National Plan for Black Empowerment. What is the NAACP doing toward Black economic empowerment?
Great question. question.
And what level is economic empowerment on the NAACP's agenda? What's the highest agenda point on the NAACP agenda? Is it economic empowerment, political empowerment?
Let me share, I'll answer all your questions, right? It is so important to us that we launch a venture capital fund in November where we're doing $200 million raise to invest in VC fund managers and tech innovators. The business of the future is in tech and innovation. So we are raising the money now to support individuals from our community who have not been able to participate in that growth industry. So that's $200 million. The projected date to have it all raised is Labor Day. It is extremely important. The other part of your question is where it is on the level. You can't separate them out. It's all connected. It's not an either or, it's a both and we recognize that. The work we do as advocates is to ensure equal protection under the law, yes, but also economic opportunity. The three-legged stool of the civil rights movement is this. It is our franchise, the vote, so we can have a voice in public policy and its formation. It is future aspiration, education, so we can train the next generation. And then it is to be able to collectively or individually bargain for one's talent, labor, and skills. So it's economic development. That's the three-legged stool of the civil rights movement. That we came out of a system of labor exploitation. So to fight out of that, we recognized we had to be a part of those three. Dr. Claude Anderson, I read his stuff, I'm very familiar. I've met him several times. So where we stepping in is looking at what is the growth industry of the future? It's in innovation. How do we participate? We launch a fund so we can invest in those who are in that space. Once this is launched and move forward, we're gonna go back and begin to look at private equity. That's the next place where you can find economic opportunities for our community. Did you have a follow-up question?
No, we don't. It's a system.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's a system, but we'll get there.
I get out the way.
Good morning. My name is Carrie Nelson. I am a member of the NAACP. Reverend Mack, I had the privilege of hearing you speak on Saturday at the brunch. I have volunteered to help at the convention. My question is a little bit about the schedule itself. You have said it starts July 12th. Is there a pre-conference on the 11th?
Yes. So the actual competition starts first. It's like a pre-conference, and there may be other pre-conference announced. I think civic engagement, are they doing a
Democracy.
Yeah.
So we have several pre-cons. So as President Johnson mentioned, we have our AXO competitions he said before, which is high school students. They start on the 9th. It's a 5-day competition. We have a democracy summit that's more internal to our units. And so to the work that the gentleman mentioned before around getting out the vote and turning out your voters, it is a training boot camp for our PAC chairs and members in our units to do the work going beyond. We have a health equity summit, more for public health professionals to talk about all things public health, mental health, and things of the like. And lastly, we have a pre-con called Be in the Biz. And it's for young people or people who are interested in the entertainment industry. How do you get involved and what are the steps? So we have several pre-cons. They will all end by Saturday. Those details are actually listed on our website, so naacp.org/convention schedule, and you will see all that information listed. Thank you.
So in that vein, my question is, what can the curious Charlottean expect with this invitation to the conference? How can they engage? What's the lineup? What are things that would be exciting to attend? Just talk about and sell what we should look for in mid-July.
Absolutely. So one of the things, and I'll repeat what President Johnson has mentioned, is we start with the hub. The hub is free for the community. So as he mentioned, there is a stage where we have different workshops and different topics. So economics, housing, and here you have a really wonderful program called Faith in Housing. So that's one of the things that we want to lift up. We also have a section for children. So it's our sports and gaming hub. So bring your kids down to the hub. So there's a whole gaming section. We'll also have features by the banks. So the banks will have their own lounges in the hub, so you can engage there. We have something called our Impact Lab, so all nonprofits are welcome to join that space, and so it's also a space for nonprofits here in Charlotte to get a booth and bring the community in, have the community more engaged in your organization, right? We also have a space for retail labs for small business owners. You have something that you would like to sell, we have a full retail experience. In addition to that, on Monday, we feature our workshops. We have daily plenaries. Right now, the slate of sessions are on education. We all know what's going on there. We have something about the future of advocacy. So as we leave this place, and this young lady in the back has a question, I don't know if you see her, that we talk about what do we do in this moment as an anchored in advocacy. We also talk about the state of Black America. We'll have workshops on mental health. We have one on AI. We'll probably have two on AI. That is an innovation of the future that I think we as Black people need to be more involved in. So with training and then AI policy, that will also be important. Anything else I can talk about the convention? Of course, we definitely have our luncheons. We celebrate our members and the work that they do. But again, registration will open this week. It should open on Wednesday. So www.naacp.org/convention. Encourage you to register and become a part of our organization.
All right, who's next? Who's next?
Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna go back to you, Lisa.
Actually, we got a first time question.
Hi, I'm Danielle Thomas, the Park Community Development Corporation. I just wanted to go back to what you were saying on nonprofits being able to have, being able to be a vendor. How do we do that? Is it in naacp.org?
You can actually email exhibits, EXHIBITS, at naacpnet.org, and we'll get an application to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was a judge for competitions of music people or singers the last time that we were here. Midday, we were all excited because we had chosen first place, second place, third place. The next person that came up just knocked our socks off. Next person came up, knocked our socks off. And we said, you have to hold back for a while because we need to understand what's going on here. We were crying. We did not know what's out there. And so this is some of what I will say we need to think about this. God has sent us children. And in some ways, the children are here to help us. The best in us comes out when we stand for our children. I'm an early childhood educator. My first teaching position was at University of Southern Mississippi. And somebody said, now you're from North Carolina, why are you going to Mississippi? And I said, it has to be God. Because it wouldn't be my choice, but go where God leads you. I am excited that we're going to be here in Charlotte. I am going to make sure this year that I'm back there, and I will come ready to cry, because when the young people show up, we're going to learn something.
So that means you've signed up to be a judge for AXO again?
Yes.
Oh, awesome, wonderful.
That's right.
Thanks again for allowing me to speak, especially to you, sir. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone here. No dishonor, disregard, disrespect for anyone. But I wanted to bring to your attention specifically, since you're at the top of the NAACP, that the definition of inflation, in my opinion, is that someone is getting rich and it's not us. Because when prices go up, someone is getting rich when the price is going up. And I think that we use this word inflation as something that we should fight. But it's something that identifies that someone is getting rich and is not us. And that we need to inflate too and get rich too. Black people I'm talking about.
I don't remember the young man's name, but he was probably in his, I'd say he was 19 or 20. And so now, 39 years later, he's almost 60. And I would like to gift him with that piece that we did on him. And I'm tasking you with finding out his name, who he was. He went to Morehouse and became the Sprite brand manager.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Well, yeah, Lynn said he'll follow up over that.
If we're winding down, I do want to acknowledge that the vice chairman of the NAACP Foundation is in the room. She traveled from Georgia to be with us today, so Lois. And she's also the vice chair of the convention committee of the NAACP, that is the board committee, headed by Michael Turner, who you all will see in Charlotte as well. So Lois, is there anything you want to say?
No, just that I'm thrilled and happy to be here in Charlotte. Every time I come, I've had the privilege to come several times going into the convention. Every time I come, I learn more and I understand why we wanted to be here, the NAACP wanted to be here in Charlotte. And we hope to leave you in a much better place than you already are, because you're a great city and I've seen great things happening already, but we're gonna leave even more with you when we leave. Please join us. I'm thrilled to be in Charlotte.
Ms. Johnson, let me ask one more question, because we're in North Carolina. This is an area where many HBCUs are located. How can the college student play a role in the NAACP conference?
We will have students from all across the country who are part of our college chapters. They'll be coming from Hawaii, all across the country. North Carolina has always had a robust college division of the chapters, particularly on HBCU campus. So I hope those who are not abroad for the summer, they'll be here participating. We have programming just for them.
When I was in high school, I was a member of the NAACP club, and I'm not sure if we still have those in our high schools in Charlotte. But I would like to see them mobilized during this conference also. I know it'll be during the summer when they're out, but they should be free.
Let me follow up briefly on your question. We are, very big question, HBCUs in North Carolina. We are currently talking to all of the HBCUs in North and South Carolina to engage them. I spoke with the president of Livingstone over the weekend, and Johnson C. Smith University has a representative sitting on the Blue Ribbon Committee. HBCUs as a product of an HBCU, as a product of an HBCU, as a product of an HBCU, as a product of an HBCU. We cannot have a conference without engaging the historical black colleges and universities. I challenge you to help us with that. We need you. We need your involvement. We need your energy to help us galvanize the youth on the campus of HBCUs, to get them here that will be focused on education. So we need the participation of the students, the administration of the HBCUs to make this a successful conference. I appreciate you bringing that up. Now, I'm gonna follow back up with you. So, you spoke up, so I'm gonna put you to work to help us galvanize HBCUs.
Okay, do we have any further questions before we close this out? Well, I tell you what, this has just been phenomenal this morning. Let's just give this group a Thank you so much for coming. This has just been wonderful. And you've got us mobilized now. We're excited and we're ready to join you in this, making this come to fruition this summer. Thank you. Did you want to say anything else?
No, we appreciate you all inviting us. Thanks for being here. This organization is near and dear to me simply because of the founder and I will assure you, I'm on the record. I didn't come here today just to talk about NAACP. I will be back in attendance regularly. I feel guilty because I hadn't been here lately. But Gigi and I, Reverend Mack and I, we will be back. I give you my word. I give you my commitment on that. But my final comment is we cannot do a successful conference in Charlotte unless we engage the community. We want to engage the entire community, the majority community as well as the minority community. We heard you this morning. I took very copious notes. We will enact upon them. Thanks for having us, Mary. The only other comment I want to make is we want to engage the religious community as well, Mary.
Yes.
It is important that we engage our churches, the religious community. So I'll be following back up with you on our church.
Yes, okay.
To get them engaged. So if you have individuals in the religious community we need to be talking to, reach out to us. Gigi?
First, I want to acknowledge you have a question.
Well, it's not a question. So when he's mentioning the communities to engage, I will encourage you to also engage the international communities, African, Jamaican, Nigerian, Ghanaian.
And my observation is that we do need a follow-up conversation, and you're more than welcome to be a part of that conversation. Absolutely. And anyone else in the room that wants to have just a smaller discussion about what Reverend Mack is doing to mobilize the community, the volunteer network that she's pulling together, and also ways that you can continue to be engaged. Because I think that Derrick said it well, Lenny has said it well, Reverend Mack has said it. The convention is a one-week event, but the work is year-round.
Absolutely.
And it's 24/7, 365. So we need your help. We need you as foot soldiers on the ground, freedom fighters. We need your membership in the NAACP. Again, if you are not a member, membership is very affordable, and it's at naacp.org. Membership is very affordable, and buy them for your kids and your grandkids and cousins. They're great birthday gifts. The NAACP has to have resources in order to operate, and so the membership helps us with the resources that we need to operate, but it also gives us the lifeline to people who need the information and access to the advocacy that the NAACP provides. So I want to thank everyone again. As I said, I've been here for over 30 years. I've watched this city evolve. I love Charlotte, North Carolina. I spend 85% of my time traveling, and the work that I do is with Wells Fargo. And I'm very fortunate because the work that I do gets to touch communities across the nation. And so when I retire, I'm going to hang out with Reverend Mack, and I will be probably at every one of these meetings. So we'll figure that out. Before Lenny's retired yet.
We understand how busy you are, and you're out there doing the work. You're out there doing the work, and we're just trying to bring this to the community.
Well, we want all of you out here with us with the NAACP. So thank you. Thank you for the time.
We are going to have announcements, and I want to have the first announcement that was sent to me. There's going to be a transit town hall on this Thursday at 5:30 at Weeping Willow Baptist Church on Milton Road. We're going to have.
Is Amy Zion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm Baptist, so I think everybody's Baptist. I'm sorry. But Derrick Johnson, who was in the back, he's going to be, raise your hand, WBTV. He's going to be the moderator. And we're going to have the mayor, Zy Lyles. We'll have Congressman Alba Adams. We're going to have the Honorable Bobby Drakeford. We're going to have the Federal Transit appointee, Tarek Bakari, who just left our city council to do that. And then we're going to have the county commission chair, Mark Jarrell. They will be there. This is very, very, very important. It's going to affect us on this side And this is something that, I'm gonna take a point of privilege. This is something that I always say, my parents and probably your parents voted on things that they never saw. They never saw come to fruition. They voted on sidewalks, they voted on schools, they voted on all these things, transit, and they never saw it, but they voted for it.
When? Can you repeat the date?
It's this Thursday, May 1st. 5:30, Weeping Willow AME Zion Church. So we need to be informed and not just go check off, so let's be informed. Okay, other announcements.
What was the date of that?
Thursday, this coming.
Weeping Willow.
Okay.
Really quick, my name is D'Amico Faulkner. Today I am here in representation of the Charlotte Area Fund. Our CEO director is Mr. Nick Wharton. Just wanted to let us know that we have recently changed locations. We're now located at 3816 Suite 101 Latrobe Drive. Just also wanted to mention a couple of our strategic partnerships that have really allowed us to kind of continue to move the needle. One is with LISC. In Charlotte, we've been identified as the Financial Opportunity Center. And another partnership that's going to help us to do that is with Habitat by Humanity. So our response to poverty has traditionally been through certifications and continuing education, but now we're actually able to continue to move people or start to move people into home ownership. I would encourage anyone who's interested or knows someone who may be interested to visit us at charlotteareafund.org for more information. Thank you.
As we go to these different activities and forums and all, we need to take information about the national convention coming. You can't spread the word by yourself. We have to do it. So as we move in our circles, we need to provide this information. So just keep that in mind as we move through our circles. Anyone else? Okay.
I'd like to give you the information about the International Minority Coalition that has about 29 different nations involved. I'll get that to you, Reverend Matt. And also, we need help to get rid of this coffee in these coffee pots. So please stay back and help us.
Let me just take the opportunity to thank everybody for attending Saturday's Great West Side Fish Fry. We had between 7,000 and 8,000 people come through. A lot of small business, small Black-led organizations were able to meet organic connections and do a lot of support to their bottom line. So thank you all. You are champions of community.
Hi everybody, I am Alexis King, the Community and Advocacy Organizer for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Association of Educators. So this Thursday, May 1st, is International Workers' Day. So a lot of different organizations are hosting marches and events. In Charlotte, there's going to be a march on Saturday, May 3rd, down Central Avenue from 11 to 1. And then Public School Strong is also going to have a sign-making party on Saturday to rally before the CMS budget request, which is going to be on Wednesday, May 7th at 2:30 p.m., which I know is the middle of the day, but still.
There's a lot going on Thursday, May 1st, so May 1st does start Mental Health Awareness Month, and as I've told y'all for a while now, that we are having our first gala in the Limelight. It's an awards gala, and we are sold out. So I'm just excited with our very first one. It's sold out. We have Bakari Sellers as our keynote, and he, I believe, is bringing actually the president of the Gastonia chapter of NAACP with him. So I have a sponsor that has 5 tickets that they're willing to let people sit at their table. So if anyone wants to come on Thursday, please let me know. It is this Thursday, 6 p.m. at the KC.
Good morning.
Want to announce May 1st, and I'll see anybody. You all must have good memories because nobody's writing anything down. Or maybe you put it in your phone. No, it doesn't matter. This is Affordable Housing Awareness Month. So the Affordable Housing for the Carolinas on May 1st will have a breakfast at 9 a.m. at Johnson C. Smith University in Grimes Hall. They will be honoring civil rights champion David Williamson, who was one of the Friendship Nine, with a Lifetime Achievement Award for his commitment to improving the quality of life for residents throughout the Carolinas. And the keynote speaker is historian and advocate Dr. Tom Hanchett, who will release his new book, Affordable Housing in Charlotte. So come to that if you can. RSVP registration is limited. All right, May 1st, JCSU, 9 a.m. at JCSU in Grimes Lounge.
Okay, are there any other announcements? Oh, yes.
Good morning, I'm Robert Collins again. I want to encourage you, you know what day? Thursday. At 8 a.m. Get your iPhones and go to your Apple Music, go to your Alexas and WDRB Media and listen to my radio show that starts at 8 a.m. I will be having another young man that's yes.
I'm talking to him.
Oh, another young man that's an activist here in the community with P1, which is Positive One, doing things for the youth. And every Thursday, the show is Greater Thoughts Morning Show. Please tune in. I have wonderful guests all the time who I'm always teaching about how to elevate the mindset of yourself, but not only that, for the youth as well.
Okay,
All right,
Shay.
Shay. I just wanted to encourage everybody and announce the podcast that Tom Hanchett and I are doing based on a lot of the work we've done at Cedar Groves, particularly around the veterans. It's called Lost Soldiers. Reads Across America Radio every Friday night at 9. It's nationally broadcast. And you can find our bank of episodes at SoundCloud under Lost Soldiers. And please encourage you to give it a listen.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Thomas wants to play us out with a song after your conclusion.
Okay, yeah, well, we did. Okay, Miss Jackie says she needs help with the coffee. You want them to drink the coffee, or do you want them to take the pot? The pot. Okay, thank you. We're gonna close this out, but thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you. No, I was gonna say in July, but we're gonna see you before because we're gonna be working.
Don't stop coming to our meetings.
Okay, play us out. Dr. Thomas.
This is about the time when Miss Stevenson would have come to me and said, Thomas, sing something. Just at the Battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Just at the Battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. And the walls came tumbling down. And the walls came tumbling down.
The classically trained voice of Dr. Thomas Moore. Now hit him with the piano. Come on now. Where you get this kind of entertainment on a Tuesday morning.